Welcome, friends and guests, to a truly extraordinary event. Hi there, I am Tonya D, a holistic shaman medium, an otherworldly life coach, and subtle energetic surgeon with over 30 years' experience across various industries. I'm thrilled to share this transformative journey with you. So go ahead and mark your calendars for an unforgettable experience at Crohn's Hollow, July 16th at 1 p.m. We'll dive deep into the realms of gift and purpose, explore the elements and subtle energies, and uncover the secrets of the unseen world. Are you ready to embark on this extraordinary adventure? Allow me to share a glimpse into my own mystical journey. As a young child, I experienced a profound encounter with death, only to return with a deeper understanding of the other world. Ever since, I've been blessed to connect with beings from the realm of the Fae, angels, and so much more. Guided by the unseen forces, I've become a conduit, a mystic messenger, primarily working with the elementals on and off grid. So let's delve into what this event is all about. Gift and purpose are at the heart of our exploration. We'll map out your divine design and navigate the elemental highway, unveiling hidden treasures along the way. Drawing from my mentorship and remarkable individuals like Elder Melodoma Somé, an African elder and shaman, will delve into the powerful art of cowrie shell divination, connecting with indigenous wisdom and embracing our own authenticity. So get ready to unlock your potential. We'll open the door to your unique gift and purpose, exploring the elemental realm and its profound connection to spirit. We'll delve into energy centers, grounding techniques, and even touch upon celestial influences. Come with an open mind, an open heart, and an otherworldly perspective. Bring a pen and paper, or simply just record insights on your audio device. We'll meet on July 16th at 1 p.m. at Crohn's Hollow, 3834 South Main Street in Salt Lake City, Utah. Prepare for a magical, transformative, and truly otherworldly experience. Tickets can be purchased online or at the store. Remember, this is your invitation to transcend the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. And with that, I'll see you on the other side. Ashe, blessings. Inshallah and Ashe. My goddess, don't mind me today. I'm having a little skin reaction. Being a redhead, right? But either way, divine wills blessings to you and for you as always. So if you're feeling like a topsy-turvette, I brought in the Fae today for this week's messages. So if you're ready to sort through emotional field, hopefully, maybe doing a wardrobe change, taking out all the clothes on one side, filtering through them to the other, and then just really restating or re-inaugurating what gets to stay and what gets to go. So it's like being ready, right? And with that, are you ready to take my show above the 666 into the elven numbers, the infinity and beyond? I sure hope so. It's great to see that you have all been referring your friends and guests. I appreciate that. And did you know that when we hit the 777, that truly is a spiritual inauguration? I'm not kidding you. Spirit to spirit to spirit. The physical world, the otherworldly world, and the gatekeeper of the higher world, the inner spirit, spirit of the guard, the guardians of our galaxy. It then becomes the divine self in alignment, resonating with Creator, the oneness. This truly is the reason why numbers are often so very powerful. It's the lottery number in consciousness that really brings in the matrix. So with that, go ahead, share the excitement with your friends. Go ahead and hit that white rabbit. It truly is the only way that we're going to elevate this nutritional quotient that our soul so deserves. So we are cycling through all of our feelings. Which ones stay, which ones go. The pieces of our personal inner world are puzzle pieces. Feeling our feelings, even organizing, remapping our feelings. Like, do you recognize which feelings need to go, which ones need to stay? It's the ones that we belong, like resonating with inside of ourselves. So this is all happening in our inner world. So being heart-centric, the zone of an emotional neutrality. So what's a feeling that your heart truly wishes to hold on to? What percolates? What's the joy molecules, What's a feeling you belong feeling within yourself? A feeling that your heart, your inner world can hold you near and dear. It's like lead to attract, actually. Feeling that feeling. Taking a breath, taking a pause, and really what's the feeling that your heart is actually probably already in your emotional field. It's already there. Possibly an unexpected emotional reaction, maybe a shift in your consciousness. So it's the systems, it's the breaking down of the delusions. It's time to really take a moment, take notice, take the pause of possibly all those emotional feelers, the narratives, and addressing all of the beliefs along with them that you may have had around a feeling that you've been holding on to your entire timeline since your inner child actually awakened at about 6 months to 2.5 years. I'm not even kidding. So with that, my name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And if you are new to my channel, subscribe. Please do go ahead and hit that white rabbit. You're on YouTube, Tonya D. This is where I go live generally. And Musing with Tonya D, subscribers to my Season of the Witches, my podcast. But the sacral center is now weaving the webs, the ebb and the flow of our emotional field, the moon in the season of Cancer. So really, are you ready to protect what you're feeling, your inner whoopee, your inner child of those feelings? Feelings around a feeling that really resonates, and along with the ones that don't. It's not serving the queen or the prince. And before I go any further, once again, I truly want to give a shout out to my village excelling. My tribe is growing. I just want to send out the gratitude to the new peeps entering the show, the community, new subscribers, along with those of you that have been a part of my journey since the beginning. I love to give a voice of acknowledgement and recognition to my new friends, along with my residuals. I appreciate that. Welcome to the show. I am imagining angel numbers of subscribers. And the season of Cancer we are in. Woo, sorry about that. Had another little hiccup. Being in the season of Cancer, we are at the 222. We've got the infinite twos, or maybe we're hitting the numbers of the infinite, the ones. We've got options, right? I really am about staying curious and questioning everything and really hitting the goal story, the spirit to spirit to spirit, the inspirited intentions with Creator, creating a village of musers, angel numbers. If you're in, for sure, share with your friends, like-minded musers and guests. It really does take a village, a tribe, beyond to elevate the frequency, to choreograph the stage, to really change the world into those unlimited possibilities of an optimistic venue. And again, let's give a shout out to those of you that do tune into the replay, whatever timeline by design that you are on. So again, ashe and blessings as always to you and for you. Thanks for always tuning in, whatever timeline by design you're on. And being that it is a truly mystical Monday, just remember, if you need a comment or a message for your day, go ahead and comment. Sharing also is another way of paying it forward. You could, of course, find me on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels. Thanks for sharing my Reels, saving my Reels, loving them, by the way. I do appreciate that. I do continue with an affirmation there. Just remember, I am your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You truly are your own healer, but sometimes we do need an otherworldly life coach assistant, myself included, to really get us out of our own magical way so that our light shines brighter. And the daily snippet, what do I muse about continually, consistently? It's really about the cosmic highway, the planets doing their divine dance, the elementals of the stars. And by design, I do follow the energies of the moon through the seasons and the gates as a reflector. But for the season of Cancer, the sacral center, our emotional or feeling empathy is online. Go ahead and take my Change Your Stars quiz to really find out your intuitive gift order, your psychic ability. We all have them. They just come in different frequencies. But the emotional foundation, the moon, the goddess of the night, the foundation of our feelers, really. It's our fourth house. Who's on the cusp of your fourth house, or where is your natal moon? And the 4 pillars of Chinese astrology, the elements of the day, the energy pathways. I work with the meridians and whatnot. But as a reflector by design, I'm always asking myself, am I in the right place with the right people? And vice versa, is this the right time? Or what is it that I am creating or seeing that nobody else can see? And what's in that creation? And where's the movement? What's the solution that I may be reflecting back to you in that movement, that motion? And if you're curious how you too can utilize the elemental grid on or off grid, go ahead and activate your Rising of the Origins portal. Do so now to really inspire a perspective that you may not have seen in the elemental realm. And again, the key is trusting our intuition. Change Your Stars, my quiz. If you are seriously curious about your intuitive gift and your psychic ability, some of them may just be off-grid, otherworldly. And the out of the body energy centers, they all light up at different time and space in the seasons of our life. But being that we're in the season of what we feel, the goddess of the night, the moon, Cancer, I don't know about you, but have you truly been feeling your feelings? I'm in an emotional wave due to some other flavors, by the way, but our emotional field, just following the moon during the season of Cancer, the goddess of the night. I follow the moon anyway as a reflector by design through the astrology, along with the gates and human design, but really journaling with the moon. What's the feeling? Feeling empathy. Our sacral is online, so really paying attention to what feels like the feeling of being embodied. So we are in the midst of our inner child, the sacral. It actually activates between 6 months to 2.5 years. And we all use emotions as a way of a language. Emotions are a language of their own, a way of communicating. Go ahead and watch little kids. It's an emotional foundation. But today our feelings are really in the higher octaves, the higher streaming, feeling the in-betweens, elevating what we feel, cleansing our arc field. Some feelings may feel heavy, some are light. Like, do we belong feeling this way or do we belong feeling that way? And really accepting and releasing. So we need to leave what doesn't fit so we can really attract what does fit. And it goes back to frequency. Frequency going with frequency goes in harmonics, 2 different frequencies in alignment. So the universe is lighting our feeling streams, and we are aware of these feelings. We are frequenting the emotions that really do fit our choreography and the ones that aren't fitting. So are your feelings in alignment with your frequency of what you're emoting? And the choreography of our feelings, are they emoting? Feelings are feelings, right? Feeling our feelings. So often they do feel topsy-turvy. So kind of go explore your 2-year-old self, 2-year-old wonderful self. The feeling of just pure joy in its purest form. It's the highest octave, the rhythm, whether it's sound, light, star, the mystical, the magical moments in the memoirs. So how we love ourselves along with how we love our outside selves. And what's happening there is if your heart is not in alignment with your feelings, with your environment, relationship, work, children, play, within yourself, anywhere your heart's not in alignment with the feeling, I'd say you don't belong with that in this moment, in the now. Or you belong raising that octave of your heart's frequency, elevating the bar. Often a very surprising sensation. It really is the element of emotional surprise in the season of the moon. So whatever feeling breaks down today is a dimensional shift to feel differently. It might actually feel awkward, unfamiliar sensations. These are the mystics, the experience of an aha moment. It's the epiphany. So you may feel like lightning striking, the winds of change, the unexpected element of surprise, really attracting something very unexpectedly, a feeling of your truth, emoting a true feeling, a truth serum about something in your feeling state. Grounding, journaling, meditation, our emotional foundation, just feeling differently. And I'm telling you, it's going to feel very awkward. But the rising of the origins, the elemental foundation. So you may be feeling the energetic spin literally in your sacral, feeling the element of the emotional of surprise. So how do you truly feel about yourself? What are the words you speak to yourself? What's the emotion that you could pour in your chalice, your cup? So emotional truth serums, the negative feelings you may have had towards yourself, they're dissipating on a day like today. You just got to put them off on that altar. So if you're feeling loveless to who you are, any loveless emotions, along with anybody in your environment that really treats you negatively, even telepathy, what your emotions or feeling empathy is sharing with you. Are you emotionally attracting this kind of treatment due to how you feel about yourself? I mean, these are things we need to ask ourselves. And our feelings, what's your feeling towards yourself, along with how we're treated by other people in our sacred circle. You should be feeling fucking fantastic, beyond great. So really listening to your heart, your God spot, your personal streams of divine connection, and staying connected, listening in, attuning to your divine heart, installing even into your auric emotional field the feeling your heart is actually very clear about and specific. You're then going to have an inner knowing of what feeling stays and which one no longer belongs anymore. Feeling fantastic, optimistic, feeling into what really belongs in your garden, heart attuned, resonating. I do have the Sacred Circle meditation coming out. I created it. I was hoping I could upload it sooner, but I've had some energetic hiccups. So with that, just a few announcements on the menu as we percolate through the day on this mystical, magical Monday. I did leave the Rising of the Origins open. You can activate your portal. I think this is a great way to really connect with an elemental being, activating that portal. There's a great meditation there. So if you are truly ready to connect with your gift and your purpose, your personal medicine, an element or an elemental being, the portal is open. I decided to enhance this opportunity and leave the gateway there. We do have a new podcast episode out, which is fantastic. Embodying Your Spiritual Path with Nikki Ojeda. Great cosmic interview. And we are all in this awakening of the magical being that truly resides within us. Light warriors, light walkers, medicine people, indigenous, the energy body, the being inside, etc. Especially in the season of the Witches series, I do believe authentically energy truly is the medicine of the future. If you're really, it really possibly always has been. I'm not sure where we got off track. But I am also musing about a sorceress podcast series, something that you can listen to on your device to really shift and transform your reality. Ritual, medicine, magic. I'm not kidding you. Something to listen to, bringing in the indigenous into the subtle, kind of like a wishing well, a wishing tree. But I also do cowrie shell divinations. I was trained by Elder Malidoma of the Dagara tribe. I should have moved that a little bit, but either way, in 2015, 2016. So I do offer these one-on-one sessions of cowrie shell divinations and also other soul support, but really connecting you to your magic, your medicine, and ritual. I do give a prescribed ritual as a healing venue. So if your soul's at a crossroads, definitely a one-on-one session, a cowrie shell. I will reflect back to you what's happening. So super excited about that. I also have other online offerings, the Energy Body Demystified. I've talked about this one before, along with subtle energies, but this is all about setting your foundation. If you are new into energy medicine and healing of yourself, this is really the choreography to really set your foundation, because we've got to heal ourselves first before we can heal, bringing it out into the other world, for the rest of the world to see. Being an otherworldly life coach, I'm not kidding. And then from there, I prefer that you harness the power of your intuition. This is called Change Your Stars. This comes after the Energy Body of Demystified. The title comes from The Knight's Tale when the dad says you can change your stars. I just love that. That's kind of where that came from. I do believe we're all stars on the spiritual walk of fame, whether you're from Andromeda, Atlantis, Lemuria. Like, there's so many opportunities, and I believe we have this in our bones. I'm just not sure what field we got lost in our transmission and our spiritual walk of fame. So I really believe it's time that we're the star we are. We're being kind of integrated into this. And then from there, I do have Uncover Secrets of the Other World, which is fantastic. And also after that, we've got Voices of the Other World, which I also love, just saying that out loud. I do believe connecting with the beings of the other world, whether it's an angel, a Wedame, an animal totem, the spirits of wind, air, water, it doesn't really matter. We all need these in our choreography of our divine design. These two kinds of medicines, actually. And again, we're getting a little phone call here, so we need to turn that off. So yeah, this one came from my near-death experience kind of point of view, both of them just being initiated early on by death. Curious minds, they always want to know about death, not realizing that it really is a part of life, the cycle of life. I lost my Wedame last week. That's why I didn't go on live, and that's why I'm looking like I do. So I just meet you wherever you are on this journey. So I think that is all for the menu this week, just so you know, by divine design. And then we have on the elemental highway, we've got a Yin Wood Rabbit of a day. So this is all about creativity, innovation, friends, allies. all coming out, producing abundance like rabbits. Rabbits produce, right? So this is an inward journey. We've got a lot of yin energy at its fullness. We only have one yang element in the heavenly realm, the yang earth mountain, the very stable mountain holding it all together. But this is creation energy. It makes things happen. The mountain, the yang earth, is an asset. Abundance coming from the heavenly realm, where the soul capital, the otherworldly banking system, if you will, streaming down. So we do have freedom in a loving horse there, being charismatic, possibly more charming. So we do things with passion, adding some charm, igniting our cleverness, spirit. The yin earth is actually also wealth hidden in the horse, an asset, but it's more like getting a loan, something that really costs us in ways that we may not see because it's hidden. It's a hidden resource. It's there, but we're going to do something to activate it to get it. And yin water is also a controlling resource, parents, that possibly disrupt our inner peace. And the rabbits are a meadow on the mountain. They're friends, allies. They're bringing us kindness. Like, who do we need? The element of metal to be courageous, taking our charm out upon the stage of life, being our own self-leadership ability, courage, kindness, warmth. Love heals. Love truly is. The power of love heals. Bringing that to the stage. I would say maybe you need to do a ritual with stones or crystals. Go to a crystal store. Go to the mountains. Maybe have a conversation with a mountain. Elevating a stone. Do an offering. Something like that. Now, our messages today are actually coming from the Fae. We've got the Master Maker today, the otherworldly beings, an otherworldly multiverse, dimensional day, the energy of alchemizing our emotions. But the Master Maker, he really is saying it's time to alchemize our mastery. In this case, it's our emotions. And just knowing a feeling that you belong radiating with, along with a feeling you belong dispersing. Just transforming our feelings, it really alchemizes and transforms in ways that light heals, it shifts. So if that makes sense, right? So give yourself the divine pour of feeling love, gratitude, the purest form of healing. Speak into the waters of loving yourself beyond this human experience, and then drink the waters. It's a fantastic morning ritual, even an evening ritual before you go to bed. But the Master Maker is part of the she. They've often been called gods and goddesses, but that's not actually how they think of themselves or see themselves. They're an elder race. These are the forerunners. They remind me of the watchers, the ancient ones in the early midst of time. And each one of them has their own potent magic that acts through all of life, this power, this energy. They're profoundly wise. So their actions are for the highest of good for each and every one of us, for all of us. We do have these powers as well in embryo before we arrived. I think that's where human design actually comes in. So these abilities are something we gradually earn by utilizing them very wisely and mystically. Their magic streams very powerfully into our day-to-day lives if we're actually aware. And their energies are channeled by the singers and can only be used by humans creatively for good. So it goes back to the elementals of the day. Otherwise, these energies often become blocked but never misused. There's also a side where these powers by the she can be employed by humans for good or ill will. However, those energies actually rebound upon the doer, and then in way or another, it's kind of another way of defining karma. So often with these patterns of misuse, and they fall into those three categories of blocking, twisting, or negating. But the she, they bring in this alchemical art. It's the dance of life itself. They bring in the energies of the singers into our manifestations, into our reality. And they do this for the pure essence of those joy molecules, lighting up our joy star. So they're the master of the miraculous, the miracles. And the Master Maker, he is absolutely 100% that. He's a magician. It's moral strength that reminds me of Jupiter. Invention, innovation, skilled craftsmanship, knowing your craft. But he's the master of the forge. This is where we create our future, forging our own souls and seeing the world beyond the other world, the world of the first causes. So it's through his magic where he brings this into our world, bringing us into his own world, the world of the Fae, the other world. And from his world, these concepts, ideas, attitudes, innovations, they then trickle down into our world through our dreams and visions. picked up by artists, craftsmen everywhere. I mean, you can see all the creativity happening, but he is the one that really makes the first. He is the original, the origins. He's the greatest of inventors. And what's fantastic is the sign above his door reads, practical problem solved here. He's the solution creator. I think we need to be more solution driven. Like, we know there's a problem. However, what's the solution? We don't need to stick on the mud there. So imagine, if you will, kind of Snow White in the Seven Dwarfs, whistling while you work, kind of stuff like that. So he sings as he works, as in all fairy magic. We got to sing into it. Invoke the song. His song does as much to shape objects as does the blows of his hammer, which is actually the staff in his hand lit up with that crystal there. Doesn't matter what we're creating, whether it's a healing cup, a magic sword, a jewel of the fae, a crown of the stars, or whatever bespelling works of fine craftsmanship. I was making fairy houses all day yesterday, by the way, so that's kind of fascinating to me. But that's what passes through his forge beneath his hammer. So he's the master of all the elementals. And again, tune into Rising of the Origins. He adds the fairy element of moonlight to everything that he creates. As a reflector by design, I totally get the moon. So he would be the first to tell us that superb craftsmanship, however magical, it's actually very hard work, along with being joyful, energizing, but also, sometimes we do have challenges. So he's kind of reminding us that whatever we do, it's never too small to do it beautifully and adding magic to it. So our craftsmanship is a labor of love, the power of love, being willing to tackle those difficult challenges, being determined, surpassing anything and everything that we've ever done before, and patience. Patience is also always required, taking the breath and the pause, along with the willingness to do so when we're doing the same thing sometimes again and again. Do it with passion, do it with flavor, but each time we do it better than ever before, better and better. So he is the master maker. He's got the moral strength, Jupiter, to refuse temptation to do anything less. So whatever we do today, do it as well as we can and then make it even better. And he's reminding us that our very best work is always desirable, even in our current situation, in the now, in the moment. It's not necessary for success. He's just asking us to do our very utmost best and go further, go beyond whatever we've done before. Don't cut any corners. Don't take it the easy way. And it really doesn't matter if we're making a thing, fulfilling an idea, concept. Just be sure that the design is pure of heart, elegant, functional, and follow through, attending to those fine details. Designing beyond our skill, and then really raising the bar, the level of that skill, taking it further, give and accept only the best, and do it with love of your craft, whatever that may be. So it's a message of like long lasting achievement, creative problem solving, being confident in our actions. But he's also might suggest some cooperation, like you need a village, especially from a position of responsibility. Maybe you're teaching your craft to another person. And really, success comes from the application, practical application of tradition, principles in life, but also in work, what we're crafting. So create eloquently and mastering our skills, and I'd say with a dash of miracles added to the stash with that. That was kind of a lot, but that's kind of how I feel through all my trauma I've been going through. Seriously. Yeah, I don't look so scary, do I? But on Talented Tuesday, we've got a singer in the house, Unity. So this is the oneness, which is curious. This is the mystical experience that we actually start today. It's our spiritual home. It is union. So unity comes first, but it also comes last. And in between the sauce, we have the illusion of the duality, which we all believe in for a very, very long time. However, this apparent duality is ultimately shown to be just that, an illusion. But it is an illusion through which we actually pass through, we go through, where we learn and we grow, and then once again, we return back to unity. But unity is actually part of the singers of the realm, and they're just like angels. They transcend every religion, philosophy, creed. Angels truly have no religion as we know it here in this realm. Their existence precedes every religious system that has ever existed on planet Earth. So these are the great ones. Their wings span the multiverse in all dimensions, in all directions. We've given them a multitude of names, whether it's divas, dakinis, angels, gods, goddesses, etc. It really doesn't matter what we call them as long as we do initiate and call upon them. Their energy is always constantly, consistently with us, and they're always available. But the key is actually gratitude, expressing gratitude for them to show up. But unity, hopefully you've had that very mystical, magical experience where you've had true union with other beings or even with unity itself, the one who is all, the oneness. And these experiences, they actually transform and change our lives, effectively just showing us that the saying, we are all one, is not just this pious belief, but it's actually a statement. It's a fact. We are particles and waves. We're not separate like a flower in a field, but we are truly one. This is like a truth serum in our emotional field. And the only way to reach this awareness is really to surrender. Surrender to the small everyday self and then to the larger spiritual self, which is actually unity. Experiencing full oneness with unity is very transformative, but being otherworldly, maybe we're overly focusing on the differences, the disagreements that seem to kind of make us feel separate from the other. This may be preventing us from achieving our potentials, the fulfillment, the happiness, the peace, the love, the joy. Maybe we're feeling alienated, unwanted. Maybe we're feeling very lonely. And if this is true, we truly need to refocus on what we have in common with the village around us, whether they're near, far, or dear, whatever that is. Maybe we need to healing our own attitudes, beliefs, feelings, even that are really contributing to making us feel separate. So, it could even be useful to consider how we might find our abilities to really reconcile, reconnect with others, even ourselves. Forgiveness might be the key to access and open this door. So it's like, are we prejudiced? Are we judgmental? Do you have a critical attitude that's just pushing you further into the delusion of being separate, loneliness? Maybe move towards allowing others to really open that door to really be closer to you. Intimacy, intimate with self, gradually dropping those defensive attitudes that are really holding them away and really keeping you alone. Hermit mode, right? I know all about it. So really don't wait for others to make the first move towards the reconciliation, the waters, the connection, getting in the flow, but really researching them out, lending out a hand, sending them a card, compassion, forgiveness, selflessness. Often, it's very difficult, even when we've been betrayed, right? So even very difficult at actually first, but maybe requiring some self-study, maybe some inner soul work, doing some shadow work, possibly the help of an otherworldly life coach like myself, a therapist, a teacher. Bless me. Ashe, thank you. I needed that. Ancestors are telling me yes. Or even going deep within in meditation, prayer, invoking, just asking to be in holy communion with unity, the unity deep within ourselves. So in unity, this is where there is trust, that intimate trust, love, and also ecstasy. This is happening inside of us on a day like today, within ourselves and gift and purpose. And we all have this, by the way. We're not separate. We are all raising our frequency, energy, vibration as a collective, actually, to transform manifestations, actually. But on Wednesday, we've got Geo the Slow. So this tells me it's time to do things real slow, Tina Turner style, just saying. I love her. But Geo the Slow. This is the cycles of time. It's slowness, it's waiting, it's patience. And he's the gnome of the slow process. All things come in good timing. So it's like, how long is it going to take for the water to wear the rock away, the elementals? How much has the mountain actually grown or eroded over the last millennium, time, space? So he's here watching. He's very attentive. He's making sure that things don't happen way too quickly, resulting in like the slip shot of the side job, Sometimes when things happen too fast, it's like winning the lottery. You're not used to that energy vibration, so it erodes quickly. And he's the one who's watching the waves encroach on the seashore, wearing away on the cliffs. So everywhere and everything to really keep things in balance in the harmonies of it. and he's watching that the mountains are growing taller slowly. But he's also part of the helpline troop. And these are the Fae. They are wee, they are small, they are large, and they really assist us in our day-to-day lives. Sometimes they do add a little dash of confusion, only in an effort to be more helpful, assisting us. But they're the Fae. I love them all. What am I saying? But they're associated with the elemental realm. So again, jump into the rising of the origins. Some of them work alone, some of them work in troops. But the gnome, Geo the Slow, he's the master of the clarification process, clarity. So this is where we let something kind of sit quietly while the impurities slowly settle themselves out, allowing the substances to kind of purify themselves in their own time. So he doesn't understand why we rush about, missing out on the slow changes in the worlds around us. And he's amazed at the stress that we put ourselves through, the problems we create for ourselves by doing just that, rushing in, right? So he wonders how we can survive if we don't just take that rest, the breath and the pause, and really watching the sunsets, watching the sunrises. Or if you don't have time to really enjoy your lives, especially if we're too busy rushing around with the ideas that we are making things good for ourselves for a later time, but never for now in the moment. And the thing about his process is that it all proceeds in due time, in order, the seeds of time. You know, fruits ripen on time, grains are ready for the harvest, the moon and the earth kind of circle around each other with the sun. It's all this balanced equilibrium, neither too slow nor too fast. So these are just the natural processes, the cycles of the elementals even. We have them in our day-to-day lives. So it's just helpful to utilize them for modeling, right? Finding the right pace, the pace that really allows for the natural, the flow, low stress in our growth, the progress, and even the joy in being in the moment, being in the now. So the world isn't really turning any faster. I feel like people are kind of rushing in. So we maybe need to ask ourselves, why are we trying to create or cram more on our to-do list in our day-to-day lives? But Geo the Slow is also otherworldly, so it's kind of coming towards us. So this is like those unnecessary delays, possibly some stalling. Something's being stalled on purpose, gift and purpose here. So it's like, what's the question? Whether we are the cause or the victim of the stalling, it may be time for him to give us things kind of like a tactful but firm push to get things in motion. He may be in charge of the slow processes, but they shouldn't be actually proceeding. You know, they need to be moving forward. We don't need to be stuck. And on this other side of the coin, the wishing well, he may have been tumbled over by somebody rushing in. So it's like, are we ready or are we unprepared? Trying to harvest that unripe fruit lightly only to get a stomachache as a result. We cannot rush the process. So really setting him back on his feet, taking the slow down, the slow turn, and allowing ourselves to proceed at an organic, proper pace. But the 43, so this is telling me what's the belief around where we belong or what we belong creating, around what we are frequenting or law of attracting. It really brings me back or returns to the energy of today. Journal today so you can actually truly reflect on Wednesday. Like, where do we emotionally feel we belong in our story, our narrative? And does our heart believe it as well? And what is our divine connection with unity? The message from Tuesday, unity the day before. So it's like spirit is calling and just listening to our intuition, the oneness, and believing the message that comes through the frequency that we're law of attracting. So this really is about being in divine alignment, believing what our heart believes to be true, that serum, and knowing that we belong in that frequency. It's like our God self on a day where we are feeling spirit. Seriously, Wizardry Wednesday. Can't believe it, but that's fantastic. Okay, and then on Tantalizing Thursday, we have Las Gana. I've had her before. She is actually the frog queen. I'm sorry, I'm just getting comfortable. So her realm is very extensive. It's both above and below the waters, the fairy waters. They're really made up of our human emotions. Sometimes they're beautifully clear, they're sparkling, they're effervescent, and sometimes they're disgustingly murky. Think of your lymphatic system if you don't move your body. Different fairies are also attracted to different waters as well. But she's like the sunken treasure, the discovery of ourselves. She's the adventure. She's actually part of the fairy guides and guardians. And these are the beings that devote their time and energy directly to guiding us as we're developing our own special gifts and talents and our own natural medicine and magic and gift and purpose. But they assist us to become more than we actually are, those opportunities, exploring our potentials, transcending all those self-imposed limitations and fears that have been programmed upon us or brainwashed with. But often they really do help us climb out of the holes that we've actually made for ourselves by misusing or misunderstanding our true gift and purpose and talents, potentials, etc. But humor, the joy molecules, that's really a huge part of their direction. They help us to discover the joys of living in those balancing harmonics with nature and even them, which is fascinating because today the moon is in Libra. So that is all about balancing the scales, inviting ourselves in and watching like a Libra, opening ourselves up to the invite. That's kind of what's happening, I feel. But Las Ganas, she knows that there are treasures in those disasters, even in those abandoned places and pirate caves, to really be found in the murkiest of waters and exploring the messages. It's all about the discovery, the exploration, the adventure, seeing who or what we really are, warts, rashes and all, just saying. So this is where we discover those parts of our talents and our potentials, our authenticity that may have been hidden by those old traumas, misunderstandings, by even lack of opportunities. So it's here where her explorations are not limited to the realm of the emotions, but also including the world. So she truly, authentically wants us to dive in deep into new experiences, go on that exploration, go in those explorative waters. Even if those new experiences involve flying ever so high, maybe listening to different styles of music, do a sound bath, open your ears to hear something different, new tastes, flavors, ingredients, visit new sites, sacred or whatever. Try everything, try out everything, and just open your heart, open your willingness of your own inner child. Especially, she really wants us to explore new ideas, creativity. Oftentimes, I think we all do this. Have you ever noticed how people tend to not explore their own village, their own territory where they actually live on the terra firma? How they only visit those special, unique places when they've got somebody coming in from out of town that they're going to entertain with whatever sauce is out there. We do the same thing with so many aspects of our life. And then sometimes we kind of grumble that life is dull, life is boring. But life is always an adventure for the adventurous people. It's boring to boring people. So we're always transforming and changing. So if we don't have anything interesting to do, we might as well clean up our wardrobe, our emotional field, if life seems boring. So if you feel stuck in your mental muddle or in a puddle, just go ahead and explore the parts of the puddle that you haven't really seen yet. Dive deeper. But before jumping out and doing something new, it really is interesting because nobody is really bored or a boring person. Boring people don't tend to tune into people like me and myself and my mystical wizard self. So she's kind of asking us to really pay attention to our dreams, our magic, our medicine, and to listen to the murmurs of the waters and to take notice of the patterns in I would say the leaves falling, I'm thinking of cowrie shells, and to listen to those distant sounds, those high sounds, the angelic music among the stars. She's also suggesting soothing baths, getting into the waters, hot tubs, jacuzzis, hot springs, spas, really taking dips in the hardiest of waters and seas and ponds, mountain lakes, rivers, even mud baths, actually, to really assist us. The earth is just a healing energy just as much as water. It's just a different frequency, energy, vibration. So really quiet us down and become stronger enough to explore different territories, which is really the earth and the waters, but also the fires. But she's more earth and water. So I would say do an earth ritual with water from the depths to the highest of the highs of the heights. And it really is important to explore our inner realms as much as it is to explore the outer realms. It's very vital to our energy self, bringing energy to matter. We are spirit. So she's really just suggesting that we do go to places where we have never been before, try new things that we've never tried before, whether it's taking a class on subjects that you keep saying you want to study, maybe even learn a new language, and kind of just get into the flow, see where it takes you, and explore vastly, widely, deeply in your own inner world, so that we then can develop this adventurous spirit that truly resides within each and every one of us. It almost goes without saying that she's truly recommending that we explore the land of the Fae, the other worlds, and again, just suggesting even kissing those metaphorical or actual frogs that we may encounter to test and see if they are a prince or princess. Just saying. And the 39, that's actually a very curious message indeed, because it's initiating a belief that we belong feeling in our heart space and really being mindful of it at the end. So it's like being mindful of the frequency we're frequenting. The frequency we're frequenting, is it in emotional alignment with our heart, initiating a new belief about it that resonates with us? Like, seriously. And then we finish up on Friday. Can't make this stuff up. I'm not even kidding. We finish up with another singer of the realm. So again, this is the singer of connection, which I probably don't need to really explain what this is truly about. But this is divine connection. It's unity inspired. We're being called to have divine connection, spiritual connection. But it's also the balance of karma, and it's also having empathy. She's the singer, or he, you decide, that supports all connections, the web of all light beings, all beings in the in-between, whether it's a particles of waves between past, present, and future. Reminds me of timelines in a way. But this brings the wholeness to the apparent duality, combining all these energies, uniting all that was, is, or could be. So when we lose awareness of disconnection in our lives, this is when we do feel isolated, lonely, bereft. Yet the energy is there, and we only need to be open to it. And there are emotions that really help us to open up, love, compassion, peace, trust, so on and so forth. But there are other emotions that they tend to close us down unless we make an effort, special effort, to just allow our hearts to be wide open. Those emotions, as you probably already can sense or feel, they're like jealousy, anger, fear, grief, others of a similarity, painful nature. However, these very emotions, when carried to an extreme, they cause us to break down and then break through to the song of the universe, ecstasy. So this is a risky way to go, as well as an extremely difficult one. I mean, I had a breakthrough last week ago, Tuesday, but because more often what happens is the breakdown just stays broken for a very long time. And then we tend to retreat back to the more crippled version of our original selves. So it's about raising our frequency, a far more better way to become even more of who we are, to our essential holistic nature. That's just, working to keep our hearts open and seeing relationships of all kinds, being earth-centered, protected, connected. And meditation. Meditation is often a place where we really truly need to go, but it's only by allowing and letting go of all of our defenses that we then become truly vulnerable. And oftentimes this may feel shocking, recognizing the rightness of just that, the shock. Sometimes we need to be shocked into our change. So if we could just take a breath for a moment, be in the stillness, be in the pause, the still point, that often, we don't even know what all those defenses even are, validating them, receiving help, assistance when we truly ask for it, and just know that we will be given the same as well. Being that the song of the singer of connection is here, it's otherworldly, it's dimmed, that's an indication that we're dimming our light. So this is where we need to really ask ourselves in the moment, like, am I protected? Am I earthed? Am I centered? Am I living my gift and purpose? And just knowing that we are connected with source. What do we need to do to be more aware of, or even enhance this divine connection of body, mind, soul, and spirit to the universals around us, the cycles of time? I always connect with a ritual, an elemental, ground, meditate, channeling also. That's a great idea. Telepathy. But the 6, that is just that. This is opening us up accepting and receiving this divine pour. It's going to feel emotional, by the way. We're in the season of Cancer. This is spiritual connection, being connected to the Great Spirit, the oneness through feelings. It's Holy Communion, which actually brings me back to the Unity card. It's the core heart of it all in the emotional field during the season of Cancer. It's the goddess of the night. I mean, I feel the moon is actually going to be heading into the waters of Scorpio on this day, just going deep into the emotional field. But an affirmation for today, I would say that I am heart centric. I am resonating with the core of my feelings, the divine streams, and I'm feeling the divine pour of love. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Be sure to subscribe, share with your friends, somebody in need of boosting their inner venue. Tune into my podcast episode as well. I think we all need to start embodying our spirit, the magical being that actually resides within us. So thanks for tuning in. And as always, I will see you on the other side. Ashe, blessings.
Deep. And sometimes, if we're lucky enough to have like tribal connections, and, if you think about it, all indigenous practices have been stamped out in one way or another. That's why the witches were burned. So that connection and that community, that connection to the body, is missing. And depth psychology can help you do that. If it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But that's my way of expressing these deep archetypal ideas that's where inner child work comes in. All these things that can tend to get in the way, like the way spiritual practices are presented, like very new agey, which I'm all into that. Definitely not poo-pooing that. But when things become mainstream, it's like just the good parts are shown, or just the easy, fluffy things. And then there's this really toxic, hey, you didn't create the reality that you would have if you had been more positive, that kind of thing. And that's just not useful. And that's the sort of toxic